Okay, thank you very much, Rim, for the welcome. Also, welcome and thank you to the Sportbiz Europe. Once again, it's a pleasure to be here. And of course, too, it's a privilege to moderate this panel with great and inspiring professionals as well. So please join me to welcome our panelists today. So, Laia, good morning. Hi, welcome. How are you?
Hello, thank you very much. Thanks, Sportbiz, for this great event once again, and also to Johan Cruyff for inviting us.
Thank you, Laia. Hi, Juan. Welcome.
Hi, thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here and share some of our insights with you guys.
Fantastic. Hello, Mark. Welcome again.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure, as well as my colleagues, to be here. Thank you for having me today, and thank you to Sportbiz and Johan Cruyff as well.
Thank you, Mark. And Joaquin, welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you. It's amazing to be here with all of you and this amazing speaker. So thank you, Patricio, Laura, and everyone in Sportsbiz. It's really good to be here.
Okay, so yeah, let's dive in to our topics, okay? So maybe I will start with an icebreaker, okay? Maybe a challenging questions, but we'll start like this. So if you have to define leadership in one word, okay? I know this is not easy, but what would it be, for example? Let's start with you, Mark.
Well, I think that leadership nowadays, it's very linked to inspiring your people and your teams, being part of them and also helping them grow and achieve their goals as well, and of course align everything to the company's objectives.
I would say in one word, bridges. True leadership in the future, I guess it's people who are able to build or bridge the gaps between like innovation and tradition within sports, and also within, for example, data and emotions. It's not one thing or the other. I guess it's the way you can connect them and bring them to the future, to the next step of the industry itself.
Okay. Laia, yes?
I have the power then. Well, following on Joaquin said, I agree with him, and I would say from bridges, I would say maybe connection. Connection among people, among young people and seniors, also fans, platforms. I would stick to that.
Juan?
So I fully agree with what my colleague said, no? And I don't know if I can add anything new from a like soft skills perspective, but maybe one additional element I would add as well is as a one word, no, which is always difficult to say, I'd say it's well-rounded, no, in the sense that, for example, in our case, since we do events, you need to have like a good view of each area without going too much into details and be able to manage the team as you guys are saying. No? So it's really important to have like some commercial skills, but also some production operation skills, some team management, stakeholder management, etc. No? So it's a combo of hard and soft skills that people, especially when they are in junior stages, need to be developing. No? It's one by each. So.
Brilliant. So our panel is about bridging, you know, this bridge or building these bridges between academia and also the professional practitioner, right? And this exciting sport industry world. So great concepts to start, like growth, connections, well-rounded, which is a very new word for me also. I think it's very good. And emotions, like Joaquin mentioned. So let's build on that, okay? So let's start with soft skills. We have very diverse profiles here, which is, I think, gonna enrich this conversation. So we have professors, also people from agencies, federations, right? So from your perspective, from a leader's perspective here, right? So what are the soft skills that you consider every professional in the sport industry must have? So who wants to be the brave one to answer this?
If you want,
please.
I can start now since I finished before.
Yeah.
So for me, and as you said, no, in our case, our main focus is events management. We also do some player management stuff, but specifically in events, I would say that from a soft skills perspective, you have to think that in one of the events, for example, Barcelona Open, we have like around 250 people working. No? So for me, one great soft skill that leaders have to have is stakeholder management, actually. So you have to be able to talk to anyone in the company, so from production operations, as I said, then you have to go through ticketing, you have to talk to the fans, you have many stakeholders in an event, you have sponsors, you have VIP clients, general fans, and even in our case, we have an additional stakeholder who's actually the club itself, the Barcelona, the Real Club de Tenis Barcelona, who's indeed our client and partner at the same time, because we have some sort of joint venture model. So it's really critical to balance, and to know exactly what kind of messages and words you have to give to each one of those stakeholders.
Thank you. Yes.
I would maybe say empathy. I think in many ways. I mean, like, trying to be able to put yourself in the position of your team or your client or your even supplier or like people you work with, because at the end, Juan was talking about the events, and especially events are like super intense, and you have to be able to manage your personality, but also people who are around you, and yeah, be able to just keep everything under control, but yeah, trying to have a very like quiet environment in as much time as possible.
It's great. Thank you, Mark.
I don't know if it's working. Yeah, it's working. Well, from our side, we are a holding company that owns a football club, and we had a tough starting to the season last season. So we realized that apart from empathy and what Juan de was saying as well about the open, etc., that we needed a very strong culture, inside the company as well. That all the communications process were, not working as we were expecting. So we had to transform the whole company to define good processes, and as well, which is our, our way of doing things. In this case, in Badalona, and of course, it all impacts in the teams, in how we perform, in which our goals, and of course, if we meet those goals, or if we are, doing something that's not, connecting with all the team, and the sense of belonging as well, because especially in a football club, it's very important.
Amazing.
Well, in terms of soft skills, I think we're in a fast-changing environment. I mean, everything's changing too fast. We all talk about like venue management or how AI is impacting. But in the end, I guess it's all about, I don't know, adaptability. How are you managing to get into things and also to be curious, like to be able or open to new things, but also to get to know when things are not going that well or what's actually working. Juan said like stakeholder management, and for sure. So adaptability in terms of, okay, there are all these things that are changing right now, and we're still, I guess, not sure where are they going, at least like for sure. We know that some trends are here to stay, but not sure how are they evolving in the end. So being or having the capacity to adapt to what's happening, to see what's actually giving results, but saying, hey, I have to cut losses, for example, here. This is not working anymore, and being able to change or change your direction in the middle, I guess that's a soft skill that it's like really valuable these days.
Fantastic. I'm going to stick with what you said, Joaquin, in terms of data, AI, and all this digital, improvement in the last 5 years, for example. So definitely the soft skills are key and crucial in every organization. We are all agree with that. But I will ask you one by one, right? So let's move to the technical side, right? So what specific technical skills sport professional must have in the sport industry, and specifically how your roles and your companies are related to this specific like technical skills, right? So I think it's a good time to maybe give a little context about your roles and your companies and how it's linked to these technical skills, right? So who wants to start?
I can go if you want. Yeah. So, me personally at Tenium, I'm the head of sales and also the head of marketing. No? So they actually, here it says CEO. I have a boss as well, so I'm just clarifying it, in case he sees me as well. I'm the CCO, okay, the Chief Commercial Officer. So I feel that here there's like a couple of questions that you're making. No, it's like specific, like in general hard skills, but specifically like technical skills. When it comes to hard skills, and then I'll explain later about my previous experience and how I develop now, but I feel that one critical element, and you guys mentioned as well, is communication, so how you communicate, because that's very important, to pass a vision to your team, to be able to sell to your client, to be able to manage internally the whole organization, to talk to any stakeholder, as I was saying. So for me, those are critical hard skills. Then it depends on each one of the roles. You will have some people who need to have far more analytical skills, on how to manage Excel with numbers, be able to create strong insights, so you can really adapt and take some decisions and move the business around some areas, so that for me is really important. And then when it comes to technical skills, and now I will make some promotion, of Tenium as well. So on my marketing head, our department structure basically has 3 main elements, which is one is marketing promotion, so more all the operational marketing when you want to make sure that your event is well known in those cities where you are doing it, and that everyone wants to buy tickets, buy hospitality, etc. So that's one area of the marketing team. The other area, which is really strong from a revenue perspective, is ticketing itself. So that's where data starts to become a critical element as well. Because we have a very strong database of customers who are buying our tickets, but at some point you realize that there's a lot of this data that you're not taking advantage of. So we're currently in the process of, so that's why I'm opening this up here, of hiring the third lever that I was talking, which is a data scientist. So I'm trying to incorporate in our team, and in all fairness, and I know we are in a sports congress, I don't care so much if that person comes from the sports world. I'm more interested in someone who's coming from the data science part of the industry. So someone who's, for example, worked in a crazy thing like risk assessment in a bank. They're used to handle a lot of data. And we have a lot of data that we're not exploiting right now. And I'm sure that there's a lot of opportunity there to cross-sell, upsell, be able to do very targeted campaigns in communication and stuff. So that's something that it's a skill that we're currently missing. I think we have the view, and as adapting now, you were saying as well, we've never had that role in our company. We used to go a bit with intuition, with what with experience, what's going to work, what's not going to work. But now we start to need some real data, because I feel that the return that we can get on all our decisions can be far higher as well.
Great. Let's jump with Joaquin, because I remember this conversation we had.
For sure, a little bit of background about my role. I'm the co-president of the IESA Sports Media and Entertainment Club, which is the sport business club inside IESA Business School. And the technical part of it, I guess, that you're mentioning, what Juan was just saying, it's the main thing, because we are more than 100 people in the club, from around 850 students in university right now. And sometimes we struggle because we have people with 6 to 10 years work experience, almost 30 years old in average. It's not like undergraduate, so it's pretty capable and experienced people. And they came from Morgan Stanley or Google or top companies or firms all around the world. And sometimes people in the club are willing to lay off a lot, or to let go, for example, salary or big positions in companies because of the passion of sport. And that's something that actually happens. But still with that, sometimes they struggle, or we struggle even to let the sports industry know what are we capable of, and to be able to hire even without the sports industry experience. So that's something that she was just saying, he was saying hey, I don't need you to be part of have 10 years experience in this, but you have the transferable skills. What you did in a bank for risk asset management or private equity or whatever, it's completely useful for what we're doing in sport. And the last thing I would like to mention, I'm in touch with a lot of people in the industry and talk with them, and sometimes I'm surprised, or not surprised anymore, but even talking with top 5 European League teams or whatever, they say hey, I've been working here, it happened just a few weeks ago, for 3-5 years now, but we never had a strategy. I don't know what's the strategy of the club, and it's like a relevant person in the organization. So I guess Europe has a lot to learn from the US in terms of what works or not. Of course, regarding the particularities of the geography, because what works, for example, NFL or NBA about, like, for example, coaching or live, the people watching that, well, here we have the cooling sessions with it, but it's part of the culture. It's what, like, the teams actually like to be part of. So to sum up, the thing I would like to say is the transferable skills and technical skills are incredible, and of course having experience, it's pretty, like, it's something that is to consider, but I would be a little bit more open in terms of hiring people that are capable of doing great things in other industries to level up the sports industry.
Brilliant. How does this work in a football club, Mark, especially with
Well,
yours?
no, I mean, in my case, I'm the CEO and co-founder of M2E Sports Management, which is a holding company that is investing in different, sports properties. Our main property nowadays is CF Badalona, which is a club close to Barcelona. And I totally agree with Juan de, with Joaquin as well, especially when it comes to, setting the strategy. Because if you are the CEO, you are not the best in marketing, you are not the best in sales, you're not the best in financials, but you have to know about everything. Because you have to set the strategy, so you have to understand also what's happening around you, so which is the system that surrounds you and which is the performance niche area and how those areas are connecting between them as well. And if the performance, it's been followed, it's been following the goals that you are setting or not, and of course being able as well to set a proper strategy for the company, and as Joaquin said, analyzing as well if you have to cut losses in marketing, let's say it that way, or if you have to increase the investment in a specific area or hiring someone. So this is very, very, very important as well. So hard skills not only in your niche, because of course when you are starting your career is something that you are in marketing, you are in, like getting leads. So your focus is in getting leads and becoming the best in getting leads. But as soon as you are climbing, the ladder, it's very important to get to know what's happening around you and how everything is connected, so you can achieve the goals of the company.
Yes, the relevance of the context and seize the opportunity for sure, the momentum, right? Amazing. So, Laia, your time. I mean, Laia, just a parenthesis here, she's has a great background as a former judo athlete, and now she's working at the Hockey Federation. So, yes, please.
Yeah, well, following on what Mark said, my reality is totally different. I work in a federation of quite a small sport. It's 15,000 people only playing hockey in Spain. I'm super proud of what we have achieved. We have a very ambitious strategic plan looking up to 2030, but the resources and the manpower is super limited. That means that what Mark said about knowing a little bit of everything is applicable to everyone working in the organization. Like myself, I do marketing communication and I'm in charge of the strategy, but I also traveled with the team last summer to the European Championships and I created the content. So, I mean, sometimes we try to specialize in something, but the real situation sometimes is that not all sports structures are big football clubs or super huge events. There are also other realities, and having people who are capable of doing different things, maybe not all of them with a 10, but maybe having a guy or a girl who is like a 7 in several things, I think it's super interesting in some environments. So going back to your question of the hard skills, in my situation where I'm focused more on marketing and communication, I would say like everything related to digital, like starting like knowing a little bit about the CRM, knowing a little bit about social media, some metrics, some planning. I think that's interesting in many smaller also organizations.
So the relevance of data and digital assets are key, definitely, in this area of sport management. So yes, let's move forward with the specific topic with AI centered and also the digital part. How this exactly works or impact in your leadership personally and in your companies? I mean, all this AI center generation and also, the new tools that we have available today?
I have the mic. I can start if you want.
Okay, let's move.
Yeah.
Let's go with you,
Okay.
Ilaya.
But yeah, okay. Well, AI is a huge topic. For me and for our environment, I think it's an awesome tool. It saves a lot of resources if you know how to use it. Applied to leadership, for me, I have like mixed feelings. It's something that we all found out recently. Like LinkedIn is full of ChatGPT articles that really don't bring anything. Like I have this mixed feeling of being able to use AI when needed, maybe to be more productive, maybe to save some time, or use this time to do another thing. Sometimes, like, you can use it to, I don't know, to make extract the ideas of a long text that you don't have time to do, or like from numbers and everything. But leadership-wise, I think we really need to measure when we use this, because otherwise we will be full of fake leaders who only speak what ChatGPT says. So that's my thought on this. So please stop doing LinkedIn with ChatGPT.
I can just follow. I feel there's a strong hype on AI, that for sure. And at the same time, I feel there's quite a lot of value add if you use it correctly, right? So as you say, like probably now people are just trying to automate everything, and then they're forgetting the human side of business, which is really strong. I have, for example, someone here who's from my team who's helping me a lot with presentations, for selling clients and stuff. And now, lately, I'm seeing a lot of super great visuals, of how to implement an idea for a brand in a nice image, So I think that's a really strong value add, because now you don't have to go through the usual traditional stuff, of going to the design team, waiting for them to be able to have time to work on what you have to do with a client. And at the end, if any one of you guys is in sales, you know that timing is a critical point. So you cannot say, okay, I'll send you a proposal in a month, when my team is able to do it. So you have to be fast. And I think that AI is really helping on that, But I fully agree that, one, there's a strong hype on it, and I think we have to be very smart on using it. And secondly, and probably that comes to Joaquin's point of adaptability, for me, one of the elements that it's really hard to follow on AI, and I'm a bit of a freak, and I like to read a lot, and I watch a lot of podcasts, and probably you guys as well. There's every day a lot of innovation, so it's almost impossible to keep up to date on everything that AI is able to do. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but the idea is that if at some point, not AI, but general artificial intelligence, if it comes, the most important thing will be able to really add this human side and be able to use it in the benefit of the company. So at the end, what we will see is that someone with an IQ of 140 or 100, nowadays there's a kind of big difference, but in the future there will be no difference, because if the general AI brings an IQ of 2,000, then it's 2,140 or 2,100, So the difference will be very negligible. So I think that's a future that we may eventually see, but we need to be prepared,
Great, thanks.
Well, apart from being more than than agreeing with Juan and Laia, when we talk about AI and marketing being as efficient as possible, etc., inside a company, I will share with the audience as well that sometimes when you are a marketing leader or a CEO or whatever, you are alone sometimes. So especially with AI, you can even talk to it. I don't know how to say it, but sometimes you can share some situations with the tool as well to see, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Please analyze which can be this outcome if I go to the right or if I go to the left. So I think it's very useful as well, not only for to create for creating presentations or making something even more appealing to a brand or a sponsor, but also as a leader or as a human being, sometimes it's very useful as well, to present a specific situation and to see which are the outcomes and try to talk to someone, let's say it that way, and try to analyze, which is the situation and make it, well, at least having an analysis to move forward. And I think it's very useful as well. So apart from those hard skills, I think that when it comes to soft skills, sometimes it can be very useful as well and help a specific leader, analyze a specific situation.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mark. Joaquin?
Well, of course, AI is like the thing right now, but the thing is for what? Because you can use AI for dynamic pricing, you can use it for a presentation, you can use it for, I don't know, a marketing or sending a tweet or maybe getting to the new trend of the minifigure in front of the computer and getting used, but it's pretty fast. So I guess the main thing about AI is to know what are you using for, and what Mark said before, like having a strategy, because some organizations, clubs just say like, hey, I want to use AI. Okay, but for what? And I don't know, I mean, everyone uses AI, I want it too. And it doesn't have a real meaning about, like, or a real objective of why are you using it. Of course, not using it is like insane, because you could be doing like a 10-hour presentation now in half an hour. But it's also pretty dangerous and harmful if you're not using it right, because sometimes those sources doesn't exist, or the thing that it's quoting is not even real. So you have to be really careful, because once the other side, if you make a presentation and the other side figure out it's with AI, just because of the slash maybe, that long slash that ChatGPT uses, I am skeptical about what I'm saying afterwards. So it's not about the AI, it's about using it intelligently, and for what? It's part of your strategy. If it's for dynamic pricing, okay, like the FIFA using it in the Club World Cup, in the next FIFA World Cup, it's something that is here, but it has to have a why, and that's what I try to always think or say when I'm thinking about AI.
Brilliant. I think this part of the debate may be worth to deep dive in, deeper into the networking time or so, because the AI in leadership is really interesting. But let's move forward with the other part, right? We were talking about the soft skills, hard skills, but there's the other side of the story, right? It's our experience, right? So I would like to ask you guys and girl, what personal or professional experience have most shaped your leadership journey in your organizations? Could be in your current role or in your past role or in your journey. So I know this is challenging, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I can start if you want.
Yes.
I'll say something that it's quite common to say, but I mean, I think that every situation that I've lived so far has shaped me in a specific way. I mean, when I started as an internship here in Barcelona in a small company, in a small marketing company, I started doing, events, some sponsorship as well. I traveled a lot, so I learned how to, deal with, with providers, with clients, with runners, because we were doing some running races, etc. And as soon as you start climbing, as I said before, we started CA Sports as well. So that when it's an amazing project that is still, of course, running, and then Badalona. But of course, I think that one of the main experiences was COVID at the time. I mean, I think that everyone will say or can say COVID was a turning point in their lives. And apart from that, I think that learning from everything that's happening to you. I mean, even today, we are speaking somehow, so we can learn something about, the panel that we are doing now. Maybe we can get, get better for the next one. And I think that it's very useful. Everything that's happening in your day, not only like focusing on a specific thing or a specific moment in your life. Of course, there are some turning points, but try to learn as much as possible to get the best of each situation. And I'm 100% sure that even though it may be a specific situation, it may be a negative situation, if you look at it and you see it, in first person, as soon as you change your mind a little bit, you will start seeing the positive side of everything that's happening to you. As I said, not only a specific day or a specific, event or something, but also in your daily basis, and you're going to start, improving a lot and being able to also find those opportunities that will make you a better professional and a better person, of course.
Great. Juan?
Yeah, I mean, we could be speaking hours. I see today. I guess that we are kind of overstepping a bit. So I'll be fast. So my personal experience is a bit of a weird case, I would say, in the sports market because, and that goes up back to Joaquin's point as well of people who's not been in the sports business but have a passion and they want to switch. No, I'm a real life example. So I studied business, and of course you learn a little bit in the university. I think everyone should do that, but then you realize you have a lot to learn yet. No. Then I started in investment banking and banking, so I really developed quite a lot of hard skills at the time. And hard skills, both like from an analytical perspective, but also commercial skills, because in the bank, for example, at some point, I was selling capital market products, you know, so I had to make a lot of cold calling and stuff that nowadays I can still use it. It's true that now I tell my team to do it, you know, so I try to avoid doing that, but at the end, I learned and I could show this to them. And then my career took a switch because I moved from banking to strategy consulting, which is full focus on hard skills, right? So communication skills, analytical skills, a bit of client management as well, but I was at a junior position at the time until I grew. And then I moved to a government company that was managing the investments in the telecom industry. So you guys see, till now, I've not mentioned once the word sport, you know? So that's how I became, and I feel, and maybe I still have a lot of things to learn, but a kind of well-rounded professional, no? That links a bit to my first point. And then at some point, by life situation, my former boss in this consulting company, he set up and founded the Athenium, and he called me and said, look, you want to join? So I joined. I became an investor and a partner of him, and then I started like finding my role, no? But I would say that, and to the point of Mark, you are what you are thanks to the experience you have. And it's really important to have like a bit of an open mind and try to get and develop all the skills. And when you are in a super junior position, you have to try and be the best at it and spend time and invest like a lot of effort. And really, it doesn't matter whether you are the boss, not the boss, do your best, because that will help you climb a bit the ladder, as Mark was saying. And it will, even if you don't think today, you will be able to become a well-run professional. You will, in the end, if you put the effort, no? So I would have never thought, basic sample, but I would be doing a panel today in English when I was a kid in the school, and I had no freaking clue of how to speak English, no? So at the end, you have to develop, and that's it.
Great. Yeah, do your best. I love that part. Yeah, all the time. So yeah, maybe you can continue. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that one sentence that I usually use is that uncomfortable makes you grow. Being in, like for me, being here speaking to all of you is like, whoa, are you really doing this? But I know that after this, probably I will do best or better my next one. So just try to do as many things as possible and then learn from all of them. I also, following on what Mark said, is that every small experience also helps you learn. Maybe it's not a super big learning, but you become just this 1% better professional. And going back to one professional experience I had, for me, it was that was maybe life-changing is a big word, but it was changing. Was when we organized the Hockey World Cup in Terrassa in 2022. For me, it was a big change because I never had managed a team. You know, it was the first time I was managing people, and that really helps you and makes you learn about how to treat other people, how to make them motivated to follow the main goal. And I also got inspired by great people. So that's probably the best experience so far.
Great insights. Thank you. Joaquin.
Yeah, I guess in terms of leadership, what I always try to think is what value can I add to this? I mean, what's my value? What my proposition here, or what can I help? and also being always open to other perspectives and positions, because you and also like during the MBA or like with people from more than 60 nationalities, what you think, and also when you're trying to grow with a company or getting to new geographies, I guess that's the key, because you are used to the way you consume things or you used to do things. But if you want to get into the Middle East or you want to get into, I don't know, the US, it's completely different from Europe, from Latin America. So having people that are actually from not only like industry experience, but also geography experience, it makes like the day or the night in terms of how the project goes. So I would say like know or be aware of what are your capabilities and your talent, but also always be willing to listen to other perspectives to get to a joint decision, or at least to have other point of view before taking that decision.
Yeah, definitely. Be open-minded is crucial, especially nowadays. So, yeah, we're entering the last part of the session. So, Joaquin mentioned something very interesting about his, interacting with people from other industries, for example, that wanted to be into the sport industry right now. Mark, Laia, and myself, for example, we are like former students of Johan Cruyff Institute, and we are very close. We're working closely with Tenium as well, which is a pleasure for us as well. So I think the different perspective that Joaquin was mentioned is key, like Laia, off and on the pitch, your experience also from agency and club perspective. And just to finish this part, I will ask you to be very briefly here, please. Just to finish this, what kind of single piece of advice can you share with everyone here, okay, who wants to get into the sport industry or to improve their leadership? Very briefly, please. Just, yeah, let's start with you, Joaquin, and then...
Well, to improve the leadership, I don't know if I would let them they are more experienced than me, so I would say I would let them that part to them. But I would say that I can really give advice in terms of if you're willing to get into the industry. I would say you only need one yes. And the road is full of no's, of ghostings, or you have to be resilient. So of course, everyone wants to go to or big organizations kind of call, you hear about FIFA, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and everyone the room is full and everyone's willing to do so. But sometimes you can take more of small opportunities, as they said before, choosing your mentor, choosing the right company or the right role where you can actually do things yourself and learn, and then you can grow there. So be open to opportunities that maybe you didn't think. That would be my recommendation. In terms of leadership, maybe I prefer them to give their advice.
Thank you, Joaquin. Mark?
Well, I would say lead being the role model that you would like to have when you're growing up. This is the first one. And the second one, you will face adversity, so get ready and as well, get ready to face adversity and become, as Laia said, better experience after experience.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mark. Juan?
I will be brief.
Yes.
I promise. No, I'm joking. No, I fully agree. I mean, I don't want to spend overtime on this, but one is, as Mark was saying, lead by example, that for sure. And then the second point of getting into the into the industry of sports, if you are not in sports, I think that probably platforms like your Johan Cruyff Institute or many other sports management education universities or courses or stuff are good for a first step in, as Joaquin was saying, for a first yes. It's really difficult to get a first yes, because I can tell you now that we're in the industry, when you hire someone, the first thing you think of is, I want them to have experience in sports, no? Except for the data. So it's really difficult to make this jump. But I would say as well, think of what you can really add to the company as well. Don't only think on what sports is going to add you, because it's a very attractive business. Everyone wants to be in, but the question is, how can you help me to be better in what we do, no?
Okay. Thank you, Juan. Brilliant.
I think what they already said, I'd say that there are many ways to get in the sports industry, and probably your first experience will not be in a super fancy company or super fancy club. You can start volunteering at an event, for example. That's also a great way to start and see if you really like it, and just be open to whatever comes. We were talking before in the coffee with Mark, saying that when he started, he was all around in the weekends, and whenever they needed him, he was a yes always. Just try to do that also as well, because it's the way that you can be inspired by different people and in different environments.
Thank you, everyone. I think it was a very incredible and enriching session. Thank you, everyone, also for your attention, and keep enjoying Sportbiz 2025. Thank you.
Thank you.